Week 3, and something nipped all the flowers off on just that single pot. Why, I don't know, but I got a random tomato that broke off that I stuck in there that's probably going to get too big, and I really need to go through and weed. I've got some grass poking up. That one put on flowers initially and then hasn't put on any flowers since, and that seems to be a mini dahlia. It's not getting very big, but these, I can't remember what they're called, but they are just gorgeous. Those red hanging flowers. Scrubbed out my bed bath, but I still need to get through and pick up my pots. My nasturtiums are getting big, and I had extra bean seeds I threw in the back there. So I think this might get a little too shaded right here. But at least we've been getting rain now. And then whatever it is also ate the flowers off there, like last week. And then my hydrangeas, this one's not showing as much color, probably because it's way more shaded, but, or just whatever I dumped is affecting. That one's really purple colored as compared to the one down there is more of a blue. But I've got coffee grounds. I don't drink coffee, but my parents do. So I've got coffee grounds to put around here. And then, if we come around, my rhubarb is still recovering from our puppy smashing it. These are 65-plus-year-old crowns. I think they're almost 70. So these will get moved after I make sure the other ones are good and established, so probably in like 2 years. I do have some lettuce coming in this bed, but we're about to hit 90-degree days the next 2 days. Woo! A wasp. I don't bother them if they don't bother me. But we'll see how it pulls through the 90-degree days. And then these strawberry plants I planted in these towers have given me flowers, but hardly any fruit. I think my spinach is already bolting. I'm not sure. I'm going to pluck that just in case. That Swiss chard at the top, some kale. This is supposed to be basil, leaf lettuce basil. But yeah, the spinach looks like it's going right to bolting. On there. No beans yet, but the beans are growing well. And the salad back here I have the most shaded. I have been picking lettuce for fresh eating on top of sandwiches and such. I did try making some apple mint tea. It's like drinking gum. Not sure about that. But I did get bare root strawberries, and I just don't think starting them in here, I kept them watered well enough. This thing is kind of tipped for one, so I don't think I had proper drainage because it's not level right here. And only probably 2 of the 30 I planted, 2 or 3 of the 30 I planted actually survived. So they were all green edged when I planted them in here. So, but I am devoting 2 end beds to strawberries next year, and just gonna stick with lettuce and beans and stuff in salad greens and beans in these towers. I have another, that's my Berry's Crazy Cherry. I have another set of colors So yeah, I think I'll stick with strawberries in beds and beans and herbs and salad stuff. But that Swiss chart's doing really good. So there's a random potato. But yeah, I've gotten tons of. Then again, my dog could just be picking off the lower ones because he's kind of a dick like that. So I've been working on bracing my tomatoes up between old inherited cages and a couple of bought cages, and then they'll grow up against this cattle panel fence. This Amish paste just is not doing well. Its leaves are curled, but it is putting on a couple tomatoes, but it just does not look happy. Which I have some city dirt and some Fox Farm in here, and everything else is doing really nice, growing really nice. That Costa Little Genovese already has, or is that an orange accordion? Could be one or either. Already has tomatoes on. I mean, everything else is doing decent from ones I started, other than this paste tomato isn't happy. Even these ones are outgrowing their buckets. So, and my Fresnos are getting bigger. I think they got to be red for me to eat. And my dill's putting on some flowers. I butchered my cilantro. Made cilantro rice last night. A deer did get in here again, so we ran a line fence back from that fence there because we are clearing our property that way slowly and cleaning up. And so I don't want to fence it in permanently because it's going to be getting moved. So we're trying the rope fence like 2 feet back from the other fence because it did get up here and nibble some raspberries. And yeah, that's my oregano. I need to weed. I need to just lay paper down in that chive bed, but I really need to come through and weed bad. My little pot tomato is putting on a few new flowers. This is the next place I need to brace up some tomatoes. These ones are not as big. Some of these were bought starts that were smaller. Those 4 down there were $1 discount ones. I did come through and trim to try and cut back on how many sprouts I have in some of my pots. So cut it down to 2 to 3, and hopefully just 2 in my pots of pumpkin starts and melon starts. That one I still have to do when they get a little bigger. And then I put cages around my cherry tomatoes. I don't even know if it's going to produce anything because this is terrible dirt carrot bed. But my dahlias are just starting to peak. I think that's an acorn squash. I've got a little tiny one, but I didn't see any other flowers, so I doubt it got pollinated. That's a watermelon that got nibbled but seems to be recovering, and a melon back there. But I've got dahlias just beginning to peak. And then this red one that I actually didn't plant any red ones. I thought I had only picked like peachy pinks and purples, but I'm not going to complain because look at how beautiful that is. And there's another purple coming in there. And I tried to weed this bed really good yesterday down to my lemon basils, the zinnias I have. Those are teddy bear sunflowers and possibly some marigolds. But this one's a work in progress for how many weeds came up with it. My corn is sprouted. Very patchy on the 5-year-old corn, but I did get some. So yeah, this is my corn experiment in here. This is my transplanted, half my rhubarb split up. I think it's doing pretty good, though. I need to go back and fill this bed more when things die off. These are my crowns I dug up and move of asparagus, which I need to weed in here really bad. This is my new bed of asparagus. So, and this bed is an experiment I bought. That was plastic under there. I did not fart, I swear. But I planted seed-bought pinto beans. Some of them are poking through from the rain. But I bought just dried store-bought Dollar Tree pinto beans. So we'll see what happens. It looks like I forgot to cover that one. I was pretty tired yesterday. And then in here, I've got potatoes and I think peas. I know at least peas on this one. And then maybe I did like some squash or something. I gotta get the trellises up, but I just put potatoes in a couple days ago in this bed. So yeah, I probably oversowed that, but I didn't know if they would actually sprout. So we'll see. I have eggplant. It's getting kind of this rusty thing, and I planted 2 whole packages of bunching onions, and I've had some pretty terrible germination, and these were actually new ones that I bought because I thought mine were going to be too old. So I went to Walmart and bought 2 brand new seed packs and sowed them on either side, and I've got hardly any that sprouted, and I've got kind of this rustiness on my, oh, look at that. Look at that cute mushroom. So we'll see if I get any asparagus. And then these are my 5-week growing onions I planted, just to see if I could grow onions. I've not been able to grow them from starts. I do terribly. They flap over. So I'm still working on that. But this asparagus, that, Christ, I was just looking at eggplant. Seems to be doing better than the other ones in the middle of that. So, and then these are my melons that I'm so confused because I came out here and I mean a deer had been through here and I don't know if it bit all these off like with the other ones, but then it didn't eat it. But it nipped the tops off every freaking one of these. Every one. So, guess I'm not getting any of those unless any of them decide to recover and regrow leaves. The deer are just terrible. So, yeah. Because I did not come through here with scissors and lop off every single one of those and then leave them in the pot. But, yeah. I'm very confused on that and why it would do that and why it would just leave them in every single one in that pot. So, not sure, but that's kind of depressing because now I won't get to try that variety unless there's some other seeds that haven't sprouted in there that then turn around and sprout, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm really pissed. I'm really pissed. Every year I battle the deer and they win, and this year I thought putting up a 10-foot fence would deter them, and it's just been awful. So I'm hoping the 95-degree weather don't kill off these radishes before they develop. We only have 2 days of 95-degree weather and then it cools down again, but these are my peppers that they decimated on the last time they broke in. Still hoping they recover. They're the giant Marconis. My squash plants. My leeks in with the radishes. Some purple cabbage in with potatoes. My beans are growing up. Down here I have some type of melon. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And that's a little watermelon start that hasn't really done anything. And then those are some zucchini rampicante, squash rampicante. I planted to fill this side because the melons, oh, it's this white Lanzau that's planted here. And then I have 2 sowings of cucumbers because I thought the other cucumbers weren't going to do anything, so I planted 2 rows, so I'm going to have to thin them out. My silver slicers still are really not doing well. Broccoli or cauliflower mix seems to be doing okay. Actually haven't seen any cabbage worms yet, knock on wood. More cucumbers, both on the inside and outside. These jade ones took off. These jade cucumbers sprouted like crazy and just took off. So, and then after like 3 sowings of Kajari melons, I have a couple of them. We'll see if any of them make it to the trellis. My peas that the deer chomped down, I don't know if they'll start growing again off of what they topped. I mean, I've got a couple that they missed that are reaching up, but I did resow peas, but it just makes me mad. And I did plant some little pumpkins down here. I don't know if they're gonna get shaded out by the potatoes. And then my lovely calendula. I think this is the sunrise. So well, that's looks like my husband was trying to weed whack in here for me, not realizing he was awful close to the blueberries that I need to mulch. So, but I think these are I can't remember. Calendula with some dahlias that the deer chewed down right there and right there. This dahlia is about to open a nice purple blossom. My borage, that one's starting to recover a little bit, but I'm gonna save seeds from this. I think this is the strawberry blonde, but those 2 plants are so much more fluffy and full than these ones. I'm going to try and save seeds. I can't tell if this is one that's turning into seeds or is ready to flower, but this one for sure. I'm going to see if I can get seeds off it somehow. So that's the garden so far. I really got to get in here and weed these peppers. I have a couple of supposed bell peppers, but they're funky looking bell peppers. The deer topped these ones too. So, yeah.